going to try something new for this video. This is the part where I typically talk a little bit and wrap up the previous week's topic, which this week was sports. I've got nothing at all to say because it's sports and it's not my thing. It's great if it's other people's thing. It's not my thing. But I'm going to try something new with this video because normally this video is a little bit difficult for me because I feel like I kind of am jealous of the other people on this channel because I'm like, we're talking about blah, and then be like, okay, I'm just going to talk about blah for a little while. I have this weird job of like, I have to sort of respond and wrap up and then start a new thing, and I'm not good at that. In particular, the figuring out the new thing is I think the thing that I most struggle with. So I'm going to try something completely different. I'm not picking a topic. Aha! So I suppose I could end the video here, but I'm not going to. I'm instead going to jump onto Victoria's topic. Because, yeah, and I've not told any of the other collabbies this. Basically, they're either going to continue talking about this, or they can pick a new topic. I think it'd be fun if we actually rotated each week who picked the topic, but I don't know. It's dynamic. It's a conversation. Who knows where it's going to go? We could be stuck talking about this for weeks until someone's like, all right, moving on. Let's talk about blah. So, Victoria was talking about shaming. And I have a weird thing with shaming because I am a very, very big, unhealthy fat guy, the type of fat guy that dies like in their mid-40s. Not just a fat guy, but like a fat, unhealthy, sits at a computer for 15 hours a day type of unhealthy. And I'm aware that my opinions on this are partially because I'm a guy, partially just because I'm not other people. But for me, when I look at people saying, oh, someone is too fat or someone is too skinny or blah, 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 I think, who cares? Don't listen, then tell them they're stupid or just ignore it. They're gonna be assholes. This is something, I've almost wanted to make a main channel video on this, but I'm a little scared to, for fear that I'll just alienate too many people because this is not really the popular view. But this anti-bullying thing, this whole idea that you should not be allowed to say negative things about people. To me, that's so stupid because every single one of us at some point in our lives has had an unpleasant thought. And some of us, as we are growing up and are emotionally developing and have not developed self-restraint and should not really have been expected to have perfect self-restraint, voice those thoughts. I think every single person watching this or otherwise has said something negative about somebody else. Obviously, there are problems with people committing suicide or getting very depressed or cutting themselves over these problems, but I think, to me, that is an issue in and of itself, that we have this mentality that other people's viewpoints determine your self-worth. And that is wrong, first off, but it's bad, and it causes this culture of self-harm and depression. And I think that trying to say that because someone is sensitive to what other people perceive of them, those other people are not allowed to voice those perceptions is the wrong way to go about things. Because what happens is that if you end up in an environment where no one is ever criticized, unfairly criticized, not legitimately criticized, but criticized for BS reasons, then they go out into the real world and they have this perception that everyone either is neutral toward them or thinks positive things toward them, and the instant someone says something negative, it's going to crush them. I think what we need to do, and this is kind of a school thing, but I think it's more of a parenting thing, is teach people to understand that their self-worth is not dependent upon other people's viewpoints. And even in the YouTube community, there's this big thing about how terrible it is that people leave trollish comments. And I say, no, the terrible thing is that we identify with those trollish comments, that we read them and that they hurt. And I'm not exempting myself from that. That happens. But I think that, to me, is the problem that we need to address. The issue that we are so dependent on other people's validation for self-worth, or at least their lack of anti-validation. And then finally, it just comes to a point where this anti-bullying thing, I think, gets to a point where we say, you cannot express yourself unless some authority figure says that that's an appropriate way to express yourself. And that, to me, treads on free speech and becomes a big personal problem. So DK brought up the Biggest Loser thing, and oh no, someone's too skinny, oh no, someone's too fat. Who cares? I mean, I don't. I'm too fat, but if you call me fat, you're right. But it doesn't matter. What matters is how I value myself. And to be fair, I should lose weight so I don't die. I kind of went off on a tangent and I'm trying to circle back around. I'm not quite there yet. But to me, the idea that we have such a problem with people voicing opinions that we find distasteful is really indicative of a larger problem, in that we feel that someone saying a mean thing to you has control over how you react to that. And I think that that's a fundamental problem. And I know this is a vastly unpopular opinion, and that we should get everyone who says mean things to shut up and be incarcerated for the rest of eternity, but that's just how I feel. So Vlogalogue, go at it, or start a new topic, because that's how this works. Bye!